I'll just make the point that the idea that it is a mainstream view that British people are irritated by the fact that we have a non-white prime minister is sheer speculation. And if it is a view, it's on the fringe. It's a view which is on the margins of society. The reality of the matter is, Britain, compared to other diverse democracies, Britain fares exceptionally well when it comes to the provision of anti-discrimination protections, has a robust pro-equality framework.
Metropolitan police have just been found
compared to other diverse democracies, especially those in mainland Europe, it fares particularly well when it comes to diversity in its legislature.
All right, Dr. Rakib, I'll come back to you. Narinder, can you give me some examples? No. I want you to give me some examples because I'm sick and tired of things being lobbed out there without cast-iron examples. So have you got any examples at all of people being racist towards Rishi Sunak, or there being the kind of backlash that Trevor Noah was alluding to, which insinuated, frankly, that we're all racist pretty much?
Well, there are streams and streams of WhatsApp images, memes, GIFs, pictures of 10 Downing Street with the groceries outside, with this outside, a snake outside. There's an MP in Newcastle on his page. There's on his page, Ian Levy, and there's racist comments under there. And there's tweets, there's people in my social circle, my Facebook comment when I put up a whole post of congratulating Rishi Sunak. I've got 50% Caucasians, 50% brown people, and I'd say out of the 250 likes, 247 were from Indian people and 3 white people. I'd say I've got so many examples. I don't know how much time you've got here, Patrick.
All right, Dr. Rakib, well...
And I don't know what planet Rakib lives on, but why was Liz just voted over?
I live on the planet. Narinder, I live on the planet where I don't use 250 likes and amplify it as if that's representative of British society. No, but you just use a book. You
write something, you read a book.
Well, I'd rather use that than 250 likes.
Let Rakib talk. Go on, Rakib.
No, I'll just purely make the point that if someone wants to use their own social media activity and then make grand conclusions on British relations on the back of that, then that's their agenda.
I use my life examples.
Narinder, you can't keep talking over him, please, now. Rakib.
Sorry.
The reality of the matter is that the majority of British people ultimately focus on policy substance and quality of governance. They're not fussed by the ethnicity of the Prime Minister. What they want is a Prime Minister that manages the economy well, addresses the cost of living crisis, and there's other issues such as lifting educational standards, NHS backlogs in regards to our court system. The idea that it is a mainstream white British view that people are upset over Rishi Sunak being at 10 Downing Street, Narinder, is for the birds.
Well, let me just branch it out a bit, Narinder, then. I'm sure you did, to be fair on you, you rattled off a load of examples, anecdotal they may be, but examples nonetheless about your experiences when it comes to Rishi Sunak facing racism from some people online. But is Britain itself a racist country, Narinder?
I'd say it's very dangerous to say the whole of Britain's racist, and I'd say no, but there is a large section. I do think Britain has a disease of racism, and it's incurable. And I think, Rakib, I do agree with you that actually, on the whole, people just want him to do a good job. I agree with that. But Patrick and Rakib, we cannot ignore that Britain does have a racism problem, and it took an American presenter to point it out. That's sad.
OK, Dr. Rakib, can I just ask you, do you think there's any racism against white people at all? Does that exist?
I think there's racial prejudice which exists in all communities, Patrick. That's the truth of it. Narinda's previously talked about the level of bigotry that she's experienced within Indian origin communities. I think the reality of the matter is if you want to have a proper anti-racism approach, you have to tackle forms of prejudice in all communities. But I'd say that on the whole, Britain is a tolerant, anti-discrimination, pro-equality country, and it is certainly one of the best places to live if you're an ethnic, racial, or belong to an ethnic, racial, or religious minority.
I think you're very deluded, Rakib. I think that's a very...
I'm not deluded. It's very accurate. It's very accurate. It's very accurate what I've said there.
With respect, Narinder, and please take this the right way, I would be confused if I really thought that the place that I lived didn't like me for the colour of my skin and that I was getting daily racism, etc. I'm not sure I would stay there, so I don't quite understand. Do you really feel that on a daily basis?
Yes, I do, Patrick. And actually, I understand what you're saying, because a lot of people do say that to me. So I don't feel uncomfortable saying it to me. I respect that you've said that to me, because it's an open discussion, and this is a free view channel. You know, we all should be open. But actually, I was born here. But in answer to your question, I would love to take my children abroad. I actually don't think this is a great place for them. They are always disadvantaged because of the colour of their skin. Definitely.
Dr. Rakib, I'm not sure what your personal circumstances are, but if you had kids or whatever, would you be comfortable for them growing up there, do you think?
I'd make the point that I think that it's not the ideal approach to use your own personal circumstances and then make grand conclusions about the society that you live in purely based on your own personal experiences. Ultimately, I've always made the point that when it comes to providing anti-discrimination protections and religious freedoms, Britain fares much better than other diverse democracies in the world. And I'll reiterate this very point. When it comes to being a member of an ethnic, racial and religious minority, when you see the level of persecution internationally towards minorities, being a member of a minority living in Britain is one of the best places to be.
All right,
but just to make